Hello great people, and as always, welcome back to the overall show. We are always traveling around to show you some of the most obvious things just so obvious that people care less to know about the history and the stories behind them. Today we are here in the CBD to show you a story that I know most of you have been walking and passing by and have never maybe taken a moment just to understand what this great monument is all about. So this monument, commonly known as the Galton Fenzie Memorial, is a very important monument, not just for the people of Nairobi, not just for the people of Kenya, but the world at large, because this is what we call point zero. It is from this point that we measure all distances from the CBD. It is from this point that we know which side of the city, which side of the CBD is north, which side is west, which side is south, which side is east. So let's look. The monument was erected in 1939 by a gentleman that will be telling you his story some time later. And it is from this monument that you get to know the distance from Nairobi to Kisumu, the distance from Nairobi to Mombasa, the distance from Nairobi to Kajiado, the distance from Nairobi to any other destination. So look where I am right now. On my left is the Huduma Center, GPO, and any other place. Right behind me is the Cardinal Otunga and the Holy Family Basilica Church. But here's the point. Where I'm standing right now, I'm facing the University of Nairobi main campus, and that is the northern side of Nairobi, as from this monument where we are. So that direction, that is the northern side of Nairobi. Let me take you around just to understand. So that is the northern side of Nairobi. Come with me. Come with me, let's get to see. So if that is the northern side of Nairobi, so where I am standing right now, I am facing the eastern side of Nairobi. What is on the eastern side of Nairobi? We have the Ambassador, we have the Kenya National Archives, and all the other buildings on that side, and any other part of the city that is towards that direction. That is the eastern side of Nairobi. Come with me again. Let's go to this other side of the monument, and where I'm standing right now, right ahead of me is Holy Family Basilica, the Cardinal Otunga Plaza. What is interesting about this is that this is now the southern part of Nairobi. That is the southern part of Nairobi from this monument. Let me take you around still, just to show you also which side this is. So if I come on this side, this is now what we call where I am standing now. I'm facing the western side of Nairobi. Yes, the western side of Nairobi, where I'm facing Huduma Center, the one at GPO. I'm facing Serena Hotel. That is, you drive through Uhuru Park, Valley Road, Ngong Road. Now, this all other side is now the western side of Nairobi. Now, let's go around and get to understand a little bit about what we are talking. Come now, let's talk about the monument a bit. So sometimes you ever wondered, how do you get to understand, how do we come to a conclusion, the number of kilometers from Nairobi to Kisumu? How do we come to a conclusion, the number of kilometers from Nairobi to Mombasa? It is the story of this gentleman who was here, and this monument was erected on his honor. And of course, recently it was renovated by the Automobile Association of Kenya, and they say in honor of the association's founder, that is Lionel Douglas Galton Fenzie. And they say it is all distances to and from Nairobi are measured from this point. Let's get to see some of the distances which he traveled from this point, measuring, some by road, some by air, just to let us know the distances. So for example, you see there's the distance from Juba, Nairobi to Juba, Nairobi to Khartoum, Nairobi to Cairo, Nairobi to Alexandria in Egypt, Nairobi to Dar es Salaam, all measured from this one monument. Come with me to this other side. Here you have the distance from Nairobi to Fort Hall, from Nairobi to Nanyuki, Nairobi to Moyale, Nairobi to Nimule, and also it is noted that in 1928, he traveled from Dar es Salaam to Morogoro. And of course, he recorded the whole distance. Let's go around and see at the distances that he also recorded. From this point, from Nairobi to Athi, the 27 kilometer or 17 miles. Machakos is 63 kilometers from Nairobi. That is from this point. Kajiado is 80 kilometers from this point. Voi 355. Mombasa 516. But very important quote here from Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, chapter 35, verse 8. And that says, "And a highway shall be there." And highway, and an highway shall be there. That is one of the greatest quotes we are seeing from this monument. Let's go around and also just get to see what is still on this other side. On this side, you get the distances from Nairobi to Salisbury, from Nairobi to Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, Nairobi to Pretoria, South Africa, Nairobi to Johannesburg, Nairobi to Cape Town, Nairobi to Gondokoro, and Mongala. All these are here, and they also some of the most famous distances you also get to see here. We have Nairobi to Arusha, that is 302 kilometers. Nairobi Dodoma 742, Nairobi Tabora, Nairobi Mbeya, Nairobi Blantyre. And of course, Nairobi to Lake Nyasa. And of course, all the routes have already also been talked about here. So, Mbeya, Tabora, Dodoma, Arusha, all in Tanzania. Let's get to see this other side. I think these are the most famous distances that people quote a lot. That Nairobi from Nakuru. Majority say Nairobi to Nakuru is 2 hours, but how do we get to that 2 hours? So Nairobi to Nakuru is 177 kilometers. Nairobi to Kisumu 400 kilometers. Other people say it is 346, but here it is noted as 400 kilometers. Nairobi to Eldoret 356 kilometers. Nairobi to Kampala 772 kilometers. Nairobi to Kabale in Uganda 1,212 kilometers. And also noted in 1926, he made the first travel from Nairobi to Mombasa. A bit interesting because by that time we were told there was no specific route to cover. So he had to go, making the route himself, doing the road by himself. It will be very interesting to see where is that first car that he traveled with from Nairobi to Mombasa. But now, just to let you know around, yeah, if you look around this, yeah, remember as I said earlier when we were starting, from this point, you get to know if you are in the city center, which side is north, which side is south, which side is east, and which side is west. Yeah? So we'll be telling you more about this place and just the connection and the special place and everything that we need to know about this great place. But just in a moment, you see, Lake Nyasa, Nairobi to Lake Nyasa was traveled in 1924. 1924, the traveling from Nairobi to Lake Nyasa, and all the routes were done, all the distances covered, both in miles and kilometers. So Arusha, Dodoma, Tabora, Mbeya, Blantyre, all these were done. But also just remember that this is the Nairobi stone, erected to the eternal memory of Lionel Douglas Galton Fenzie himself, who received the order of Leopold II, who, having founded the Royal East African Automobile Association in 1919, remained its devoted honorary secretary until his death on May 15, 1937, during which period he pioneered several motorcar routes as inscribed below. So most of the routes that we are using from Nairobi were done by this gentleman. So anytime you are wondering, how do you get to know the distance from Nairobi to Kisumu? Kwa mfano ukisema, Nairobi to Kisumu ni 300 kilometers. Is it Nairobi from Kibera, Nairobi from Buruburu, ni Nairobi from where? It is from this point that we measure all these distances. Nairobi to Mombasa, it is from this point. So this is the point that we call point 0. So from here to where I'm watching, I start measuring the meters from the point that I'm standing towards Cardinal Otunga, towards National Archives, towards Nairobi University, towards Serena from this point. I hope you should know this. Let's keep discussing and tell me if you've ever been past there, if you've ever passed through this place, and tell me what you learned, what you learned. Of course, when you visit this place and see all this, please send some greetings in the comment section. Thank you. Goodbye. See you next time.